I wanted to do a video about if you play F1 2021 or 2020 or any of the recent F1 games on like PS4 or PC. Well, I just figured out recently how to be a little bit faster without changing your driving at all. And so what you got to do is, I think most people leave these on automatic because they don't want to mess with it when they're driving. What I'm talking about is the ERS and the fuel. So if you leave those on automatic, you're not as fast as you could be. So this is one of the first races I started using a manual fuel mix, and I didn't know what I was doing yet. And so, see, we're on the 4th of the 5th lap, right? And I had it set to the highest fuel mix rich, which means more power. However, it also means if you run the whole race on rich fuel, you're going to run out of gas before the end of the race. So you have to keep an eye on. Anyway, so I'll play the video here. So see, I was a noob at this point, just figuring out how to get faster just by changing some settings. And I ran out of gas in this race. I was in, anyway. So basically, this video is for people wondering, why is there always a few people faster than me? Like, even if I'm driving perfectly, it always seems like a few people are faster than me, right? Well, it's because they are manually adjusting the fuel mix and also manually doing the ERS. If you set the ERS to automatic, it never uses enough during the race. It's too slow. But if you do it yourself, you can really maximize the power your car has. And same thing with the fuel mix. See, I screwed up in this race though. See, now I'm running out of gas here. It's put me in low fuel mode. And uh-oh, we're on the last lap, and my car is slow because you can't leave it on rich mode the whole time. See, there's number 3. You adjust it between 1, 2, and 3. So, okay, the next race I figure it out. Let me fast forward here. Yeah, here's the next race. All right, here's the start. So I'm starting 4th. And see, I figured out the last race I ran out of gas. No, wait, let me stop the video here. Okay, so what I've been doing is at the beginning of the race, I set my ERS on to overtake and also put the fuel mix to rich, because I want the most power at the beginning of the race to get away from people. And I think this is what the fastest guys do, to get away from the field, because at the start of the race, that's when the biggest risk of somebody crashing into you, right? And so you want to get away from everybody. So what I've been doing is I put the fuel mix on rich and also my ERS overtake on at the start of the race. And I also try to focus real hard on starting right when the green light goes. So see, I set it to rich. It's kind of tricky. So at the beginning of the race, you got to hold X for your clutch, and you have to adjust to the fuel mix to rich, and you got to hit L1 on a PlayStation controller to set the ERS on. So now I'm into 3rd place. And this is one of the first races. See, look at that. I'm catching this guy. Look, I'm blowing by this guy. It's because I have my settings on max for power. Kind of screwed up here. But still, the reason I'm making this video is because I think a lot of people don't realize this. You know, people are leaving these settings on automatic, letting the computer do it. Well, that's why you're a little bit slower than some people. I'm glad I finally figured this out, because I did dozens of races after this race, and now I'm top 3 all the time. Like, yeah, it makes a big difference. So it makes it a little trickier, because now instead of focusing on the track all the time, like on the straightaways mainly, you gotta keep an eye on this stuff now. Your fuel mix and your ERS. So see, when you at the beginning of the race, when you put it on max rich fuel, see, there's no problem as far as running out of gas, right? But you'll see this thing will go down. See how it's going down? Now by the time you get to like lap 3 of a 5-lap race, this is going to get close to 0. Let me fast forward now the race here. So I'm in 3rd place here. Alright, this is lap 2 of 5. Let me fast forward. Oh, let's go to here's lap 3 of 5. And now see, that number is getting closer to 0. And I switched it to standard from rich, because I wanted to kind of limit my fuel usage. And you see the ERS is going there. So we got a couple laps left, and even on standard sometimes the fuel goes down. But so see, it's lap 3 of 5, and so I think I'm going to switch it to, there we go, I switch it to rich. Now see, watch, the fuel is going down, but this helps me get power to catch the guy in front of me. I'm in 3rd place at this point. Now look at that number getting close to 0, see? And there's still a couple laps left, lap 4 or 5. So you got to keep an eye on it when you do this manually. See, I set it back to standard now. So it's kind of tricky, however, you're faster this way overall. Instead of leaving these settings on automatic. And you got to do this manually while you're in the races to be the fastest you can. You really have to, or else there's always going to be a few guys faster than you, and it's frustrating. You're like, why are these guys faster? Because I'm driving great, right? Well, yeah, you gotta do this manually right here. ERS and fuel mix, you got to do it. You'll see a difference. You'll start. So like in qualifying, your car is set to max fuel and max ERS, and you'll notice you'll notice you're a little faster in qualifying, and the car sounds even a little more powerful. So see, final lap, and what you want to do is you want to balance running out of gas. And see, now I'm fighting this guy for 2nd place here, see? So you get, at the last lap, you have to balance running out of gas and how powerful your car is. And you do that, I do that by hitting the one of the directional buttons on the controller. And anyway, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people playing F1 games don't know about this. They don't realize you can be faster by doing this manually. Especially helps in the beginning of the race. You got to qualify good, and then you have to have these settings on max to get away from people. It makes a big difference. That way these guys can't get on your tail at the beginning of a race and get in your slipstream and pass you. When you have your max fuel going and the ERS, it's easier to get away from people. I mean, seriously, I did so many races after this one, use it now, doing this manually every time, and I'm always top 3. Even when there's 20 people, even when there's 20 people in a race, I'm always like top 5, top 3. Whereas before, when I left those settings on automatic, a lot of times I'd get like, 10th, or 5th or 10th. Not as good. So, anyway, I guess I explained it well enough here, so I'll end the video.